and then the full show, because that's how we do it.
Okay, good. I can see the live thing. I was afraid of the
That's right.
stuff we were just talking about being included in the live stream.
None of that stuff is on.
I can't believe the iPhone 14 is going to be all notch. I don't know if that's going to work
The
out.
whole thing, dude.
We should go live and tell everybody. What do you think? That'd be great if we
It'd be
told.
crazy.
All right, let me hit live right now, and then we'll
Get
see.
live.
And they're bringing Steve Jobs back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All the data from the Apple Watch is going into bringing Steve Jobs back to life.
It is crazy that they have that kind of technology. It's a good thing we're not live.
Anyway, yeah, let's go live.
Let me go live.
The internet would explode.
We're already live. Uh-oh.
Oh, what? No way.
Oh, we've been had.
All the data from the LiDAR sensors going into recreating eyes for Steve Jobs so he can see again. And
John, we're live.
oh shit! Sorry, I'm sorry. Why didn't you say something sooner?
Because I just did. Hey, everyone! Welcome to another episode, a special episode of GadgetCast here.
It's a Gadget
on Thursday. What day is it?
GadgetCast. Can I make that jingle? Is that the official jingle?
Yeah, make it a jingle. We'll put it in the show.
We'll record it.
GadgetCast. Steve Jobs coming back to life. GadgetCast.
I think we can clip that.
That'll be the official intro. We're gonna replace one that Travis found with that.
Much better than that.
Wait, Travis, you bring in a new intro?
Yeah, we're gonna record this. We're gonna record what you just said and make it into a song. We need someone we need someone in the chat who's good at putting background music to vocals and making it into a song, like auto-tuning it.
Yeah, there's someone with musical talent watching this. Make us like a cool intro. Make it like really good. If it's not good, I'm not going to use it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Can we have people that are not good not send us stuff, and people that are good send us stuff?
Make it the best music. Like it's got to be better than everyone else's. Like it's got to be better than front page text, like main intro.
Indeed. All right, so this is the pre-show. We're almost done. We're going to start the latest version of GadgetCast, the only truly relevant tech podcast, of course, minus Recycle Bin, which is the most relevant tech podcast.
Just the sixth most.
And one of the most relevant ones in the world, if we really go. All right, but anyway, yes, we'll be doing that. Yes, that is Jern. That is Jern.
It might not be. It might not be. I don't know.
There's no proof.
It's fake Jern. We need to, in order to make sure we know it's real Jern, we need to hear you poop. And if you do, we know it's you.
Okay, hang on.
Uh-oh. Oh, hey now.
Oh, no.
Might want to get rid of that.
Ask and you shall receive.
You might want to get.
What's wrong with me? Let's start over.
Yeah.
What's the pre-show? It doesn't count.
Yeah, none of this counts because it's pre-show stuff.
We're saying hi. You know, we're getting our pipes warmed up. You gotta, tune your instrument, right?
I think he just tuned his butt cheeks.
Take a nice sip of water, Travis. Got to wet those pipes for the show.
Well, you're the one doing the intro. I just come in and say, "Hey, everybody!"
Hey, everybody! Got an exclusive for you today. That's not part of the jingle. That's real.
That's a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, got to buy your. Hold on, let me put that across the banner before we get started. Oh, that's the audio version. No, that's right. Get your Gadget Cat merch. Oh, I don't have it. Do I have it in the description? I hope
you just called it Gadget Cat. That needs to be a shirt by itself.
Gadget Cat is in the description.
Everybody buy your Gadget Cat cast merch, or else I won't say anything Apple related. Only Microsoft. That Surface Book though. So spicy.
That's right. Get your Gadget Cats.
Yeah.
All right. I think we can start the show. We'll get into this deep. We'll get into it knee deep and see what happens on the latest episode of GadgetCast. Go ahead, Greg. We're going to do this. We'll both record, even though obviously only one of us needs it. We're going to do it.
Yeah. I think it's good to have two just in case.
We should actually have Jernzo record his, and then we could actually have like a really clean.
I forgot. I'm recording my audio.
Nah, don't worry about it.
Are you sure?
Are you on your Rodecaster?
Yeah.
He could then. He could just do what I do.
You want to
down the only thing you'd have to do is make sure you're on Bluetooth rather than plugged into your Rodecaster, and then we
can inconvenience for John.
All right.
What do you think?
That's not a big deal. I mean, we couldn't even get him to get a camera, so I guess we should.
All right, let's not mess anything up. Next time.
We'll go live.
By the way, if you're watching live and you're not subscribed to GadgetCast, do it. It's my favorite tech podcast. So subscribe, everybody.
That's right.
Besides your own, right? Recycle Bin.
No, I hate mine. Why do you think I don't make it?
Good point.
Everybody unsubscribe from Recycle Bin. Subscribe.
Actually, you should do you already have a Recycle Bin channel, right?
Yeah, but we don't use it.
You should. I'd be interested to see if you went live on it and really promote it, see how many people showed up to it. That'd be fun to watch.
Or we just do, or else I just become GadgetCast co-host and leave burn in the dust.
You could do that if you wanted to.
I belong to Halo, and the chat says Jern forehead is kind of big. On front page, the latest technology can actually shrink his forehead on camera. This is the real.
Yeah, this is not an effect. This is the real me.
We said come without the digital effects this time.
His brain got really big.
His all those Apple leaks have swelled his brain.
I mean, if you guys have seen Reddit, that's the topic of discussion: is how big my ego is.
Well,
it's like they can't figure out
that. About that in the show.
Yeah, we're gonna get that in the show.
All right. Save it. I save it.
Start.
We're gonna record
the show. Let's give it to them.
All right, everyone, quiet. Recording in 3, 2.
I hit record, Travis. We don't even need to say.
Okay, whatever.
Hello, world, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Gadget Cast, the most relevant tech podcast out there. Wow. I am your host, Gregory McFadden, joined by my favorite guy, Travis MCT. Show's already getting derailed.
I'm on the struggle bus.
He's on that bus. For those of you listening to the audio podcast later, we appreciate you. But again, you're missing out. As we've said a billion times, you got to be subscribed to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/GadgetCast, because we go live. And then right now there's 184 people in chat. So this is going to be fun. So we have Jernzo.
We are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Jon Prosser from Front Page Tech.
Hello. And the crowd goes wild. Woo!
We have that sound effect.
Why'd you make me do it then?
Hold on.
Yeah, thank everybody. Thank you. Everybody, settle down now. Settle down. It's okay.
Yeah. So just in case, like I said, if you haven't been here before, go ahead and hit subscribe. If you're watching us right now, we have live streams, usually on Sundays, but we figured why not pull out the Jernzo on a Thursday? Why not? Because he is the current holder of the most downloaded and listened to episode in GadgetCast history, which is saying a lot.
Yeah. Travis, I think I'm doing John a favor here. I'm number 36, Mr. Trending on YouTube, a distinct honor. I think Front Page Tech is really going to blow up after this. Any subscribers that you might get after this episode, I think it's.
We have gotten a lot of subscribers after my appearance on GadgetCast, so probably not a coincidence.
Yeah. Things are lining up, huh? Right? I think we're hitting. We've had some popular people on the show. We've had Michael Mo.
Yeah, can't remember who we had on the
John Rettinger. We had Renee Ritchie, and if you look at their channels, they have some pretty high subscriber counts. I don't know what their subscriber count was before they came on the show, but I imagine it was lower.
Yeah, 100% sure. So I think what we're going to do, because we were talking about this beforehand, we don't know what the format of this is. We have formats. We have a loose format for GadgetCast. That's why it's so popular, because we're just so good. But I think what we're going to do is do like kind of what we did last time, which is answer a lot of questions in the live stream, which of course, again, if you're listening to the audio, you're still going to get good information. It's still going to be great listen. You're going to have fun. We're all going to have fun. But obviously you can't submit your questions. So you should have been here. So make sure you go to youtube.com/GadgetCast and subscribe. Now, why don't we start doing that thing? But before we do, let's talk a little bit more real quick about Greg's Gadgets legitimate, trending video. You just talked about. So for people who don't know, Greg, explain to them what happened to your channel this week. It's a big deal.
I don't know. I did a video on the MacBook Pro. It wasn't anything special. It was just my usual shtick. And it kind of blew up, got a lot of views all at once. And it made an appearance on YouTube trending at the number 36 spot, which, not number one, but, I'll take it. A channel my size getting trending at all, I think is pretty nuts. I was stoked. It made my day. I was so happy. People are asking me how I did it. I have no clue. Don't ask me for anything about analytics with YouTube, how to make it. I am clueless. But it was really cool to have that happen. I felt validated.
was nice, and it was mostly Jern's though. We know this.
I don't
didn't
know.
do it. What did I do?
All the strings behind the video. You
Yeah, I threatened Susan Wojcicki.
yeah.
Which
Okay.
Susan Wojcicki.
ski. Okay. So what we're gonna do? Line up in a very formal fashion in chat and start throwing non-stupid questions.
Well,
Please, non-stupid ones.
Before we get to questions in the chat, I want to talk to John real quick. I listened to Recycle Bin. His least favorite way to start a podcast is to ask how someone is. So I'm gonna ask how John is because
no, it's different. It's different.
Okay.
If you and Travis ask each other how you're doing, that's stupid. But if you have a guest on, that I feel like that's normal and natural. But you know what I mean? Like even we talked before the show. You can't start a podcast to pretend like you just walked in the room and be like, "Oh, hey, how are you?"
Okay.
That's my pet peeve.
Well, behind the scenes stuff. Sometimes me and Travis literally like hit "let's go," and it's like, "Hey, how are you?" Kind of like we haven't talked to each other
because we really haven't talked to each other.
Yeah, some normal shows we literally haven't talked to each other. I think I did that one time though to Travis where I said, "How are you?" And it was like when all this stuff like started to go down. It was like a couple bad weeks in a row. I was like, "How you doing, Travis?"
I think I talked to you guys more than most people. Like, okay, I have 56 unread text messages.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I am the worst at replying to things. But we have a group chat where we say incriminating things, so I hang out there.
Definitely, yeah, that's where you need to be. All right, real quick. These are the Soundcore Q10s. We will have more information about these headphones in maybe 2 weeks.
Hey, I'm like the most reoccurring guest if headphones are included.
3 times, right? You're the 3-time.
I think.
Well,
yeah.
see,
that's what they call me. They call me 3-time Jern.
So, I think they call you like the 100-time Jern, so you got to make like a couple more appearances before we get.
I'll try my best.
But John, like you were on here one other time, kind of talking very briefly right after the iPhone SE dropped, and you kind of got that right with your report. Yeah, 100% right, 110% right. If we're being honest, you got the exact time, all that. But before that show, we had like a really nice in-depth show where I think a lot of people who listened to that show got to know you better as a human. That was a reoccurring comment in the chat. If you go back and look at that episode, if you look in the comment section, people are like, "Oh my God, I never knew John as like a real person. I'm only used to seeing him on Front Page Tech," and they like what they saw. But during that episode, you were like very concerned. You were pretty stressed out about this whole business with the iPhone SE, with people questioning your credibility. You had some run-ins with sites like 9to5Mac, who I believe is reporting on you now, which is great. So how do you feel now? Like, how are you doing?
Better. There's definitely less pressure. I mean, I still have my moments, but ultimately I feel a lot better because you can't. Even the people that were hardcore denying that I had any sources or saying that I just made it all up or whatever, they still hate me, but in a different way. Like Reddit right now has gone from like, there's just threads of hundreds of people. Everything Apple Pro. Philip messaged me today, was like, "Dude, you were on the popular tab on Reddit," and I was like, "Oh, cool, a John story." And you clicked on it, and then all the comments are just awful. Just hundreds of people just picking me apart as a person. And it's really interesting to see Reddit go from he's just making it all up. We'll find out that he's lying on the 15th or whatever when I said the SE was coming out. And now, instead of saying I made it all up, they know that I'm not making it up, but there's whole threads about hoping that I go down or hoping that I get sued. First of all, why? I'm a person. But number two, is it not it's the information that you want? I don't understand what the issue is. Maybe I feel like if Mark Gurman gave the same information I was giving, everyone would eat it up. I don't understand. Maybe it's because my personality and they hate me. I don't know. But no, I don't plan on getting sued. And I mean, I hope I don't go down, whatever that means.
Yeah, no, I think it's a personality thing. I think people watch your show, they see it's a persona. You've said that plenty of times. And they see this guy who seems really confident, really sure of himself. But that's your way of making the show entertaining. And that's why people come back to watch. That's why the fans are so loyal. They like that they like that, for lack of a better term, character on the show. There's obviously parts of it that are true and parts of it that are exaggerated. But I think it really is a jealousy thing. Like, who is this guy? How come he's getting all this information that I'm sure everyone in the Apple subreddit would just love to have access to? And they see you get it right. They see you come on, make like a joke. And, some people are just very unhappy with themselves. And
it seems like a personality thing because Ming Chi Kuo put out some information yesterday. And on Reddit, they were like, even the first comment of the Ming Chi Kuo leak was about me. And they were like, see, Kuo coming back, like just giving information, and that's it. He's like really respectable and all that other stuff. And then someone was like, John, ? Like seeing if he was referring to me. And then he was like, yeah, and it started a whole conversation about how different I am from Kuo and Mark Gurman, about how reserved they are and respectful, and they just give information and stuff. But that's not my job. Like, my job, my priority has always been to entertain people and put on a show. And I'm trying to blur the lines now between putting on a show and actual journalism. And I mean, I don't think I'd be where I am now if I was just like everybody else. I can't be what everyone wants me to be or what they think I should be. If they think I should be a Mark Gurman or Ming Chi Kuo, that's cool. Don't follow me and follow Mark. That's why options exist. And I'm cool if you unfollow me or whatever. If you want me to be Mark Gurman exists, and Mark Gurman's great. So follow Mark.
Yeah. And like you said, you're in a unique position. There are plenty of people of like Gurman writing these articles and stuff like that. But I can't really think of a tech news show as relevant as yours that actually is giving this information. But when you do a show like that, being entertaining too, it's a balance you have to walk, and I think you do it well. I get the jokes. I'm of the age group where I kind of get all the jokes and stuff like that. But I think it's just a lot of like old school people who are like, just stick to the news kind of thing. I just want to hear the information. I don't want to hear your jokes and stuff like that. I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird.
But that's what I don't understand. There's so many comments or threads that are like, just be like this, do it this way. Yeah. That's the thing. There are so many shows like What You Want. Go watch them. Like, everyone's going to report on my leaks anyway, so go watch them and you'll get the information from them. And you don't have to put up with me. But if you like the show and you dig the show, I want you to stick around and watch it every day. Those are the people that I care about. If you either way, you're still watching. You're still coming back every day to hate me, and which says more about you than me.
Right. It's funny because no matter how kind of straight-laced you are, even if you were completely straight-laced, there'd be people out there hating on you. Really, I mean, there are some really incredibly nice people. Jonathan Morrison being one of them, like one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Incredibly giving of his time and his money. And there's people who sit there and crap on him in his comments, and it's like, bro, you have no right to. If you knew how good Jonathan Morrison was as a person, you would spontaneously combust. So that's me when that stuff happens. But anyway,
I think we should all be more like Greg, because I don't see Greg ever getting hate. Everyone just loves him all the time.
Greg gets hate. He does.
I do. I get I get hate too. I get people in the comments who are making fun of me for whatever reason, and they're saying stuff about me. I mean, it happens to everyone. You're never going to please 100% of the people. It's impossible. There's always going to be someone out there who just hates you for whatever reason.
There you go. Pursuing Dr. Gizmo. People are hating on Jern, just don't have a good sense of humor. That's true. They don't like fun, and that's the issue.
Yeah.
If you don't like me, you don't like fun. That's my motto.
That's a true story. All right.
TP.
So everyone get in a orderly line. No pushing, no shoving. 6 feet apart, please. Maintain your social distancing in the chat. You may ask non-stupid questions. Any questions that are stupid will not be asked. And I will say that yes, Greg smells.
See that? People are saying cancel Greg in the chat. What do you mean I don't get hate? I get no respect around here. MKBHD, you're not for stealing my thumbnail. I'm gonna get you on Viper's stream. I'm gonna drop like a $5,000 super chat. Viper's gonna have to acknowledge it.
Make sure you buy your Cancel Greg GadgetCast merch here. You can see the link in the bottom. Of course, if you're listening to the audio podcast, should be a link in the show notes if Greg doesn't forget. Here on YouTube, it should be in the description. I'm also throwing it across the bottom of the thing. Otherwise, follow us on Twitter at RealGadgetCast, where we will be.
I've seen this comment a lot. in the chat. So I
Cancel Greg.
Yes, I've seen that. John, a lot of people want to know how it feels to have Phil Schiller block you on Twitter.
That's a good one.
Conflicting, because that's the best validation I could ask for. The VP of marketing blocking me on Twitter. If you question my track record, that's a pretty good tally towards my track record. But also, I love Phil Schiller. So
you a Phil fan?
Yeah, I love Phil. I think he's great. And I've never tweeted Phil in my life, and now I can.
Oh.
And I was like, this is fine. If I really want to see a Phil Schiller tweet, I'll just log into the Front Page Tech Twitter. He blocked that too.
Oh.
Yeah, blocked everywhere.
I can send you his tweets daily for like.
Thank you. So I have a secret FPT News Twitter account. It's private, and that's where all the stories that I talk about for the show, I put them there. While I'm recording the show, like when I'm holding my iPad, what's on that iPad is that Twitter account, that secret Twitter account. And so I looked from there, and I can see why, because the top replies to Phil's latest tweets are all me. It's all people talking about me or tweeting him Jon Prosser memes. It's like, it's so brutal.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And I can't be like, guys, stop, because then they'll do it more.
It's the toilet.
But it was so cringy because I looked at his tweets and the replies are all me, like people tweeting him a meme of me as the vice president of marketing, and just like, oh my God, guys, come on.
Well, I mean, it is your fan base, man. They're very passionate, very passionate. All right, let's start getting to some of these questions. I've seen a lot of questions about iMacs. Is there any kind of update about 27-inch iMacs or anything like that?
So people are talking about redesign and stuff. That's a Mark Gurman question. He's the one that came out, I believe he's the one that came out with the report that a redesign's happening. I just know whatever iMac it is, it's ready to ship.
Any idea when the 14-inch MacBook Pro will come out? A lot of people want the 14-inch. Is that even a thing?
Yeah, it is. So it'll be part of the mini LED thing, and it's probably coming next year. Last month or the month before, somebody asked me about mini LED, and I was like, not coming until 2021. And I was like, well, Ming-Chi Kuo said it was coming out this year. And then yesterday, Ming-Chi Kuo put out a report saying that can I try again? Saying that mini LED is coming out. It was delayed till 2021, which is what I said last month. So it always feels good when Kuo, because I respect him way more than I respect myself, when he says the same thing I said.
All right. 2 important questions. ARM or at least better MacBook Pro coming 14-inch, which you just answered, but the ARM portion of it I think is a good question.
Yes, well, technically there's been ARM books sitting around with Apple employees for a while. Yes. So I believe there's a 12-inch MacBook Pro, I think. It's either just a MacBook or MacBook Pro, I can't remember. But the 16-inch, the next refresh to the 16-inch is ARM stuff. I don't know so I believe we'll get those next year, but we may hear about it at WWDC just so because Apple will let the developers know, give them a heads up because it's different architecture. So we might hear something about it at WWDC, but either way, it will actually have physical ARM books next year.
I feel like they have to show off something at WWDC if they're going to have this developer push for people to make apps for it, unless it's super easy, but in development, it never is.
Especially a switch to ARM.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal.
When they did the Power PC back in the day, when Jobs was around to Intel, they got on stage and announced these things way before they actually shipped a physical product. So I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good that we might see this at WWDC. I mean, the date for it was just announced, June 22nd. And again, kudos to you. That was one of your earlier reports, and you got that 100% right, that they were changing the format. They were still going to have it. So
got the date wrong though.
Well,
got that date wrong. I said June 1st, and they changed it and thought that the 22nd would work better. There's probably a delay. I'm thinking it happened with AirTags. And manufacturing with AirTags. I think that's why it got pushed back a little bit. But yeah, I think it was towards the beginning of March is when we were like, the March event is canceled, but WWDC is not. It just won't be face-to-face. It'll be streamed online. And then a couple weeks later, they officially announced that it's happening online. It's going to be major massive WWDC because like no one can go, and so it's going to be a live stream thing, and I think it's going to be huge just because of how different it is this year.
Yeah, everyone's home. Like people just watch the stream regardless because they want to know everything. And then if you have an Apple developer account, like 23 million people, I have an Apple developer account just to get the betas and stuff like that. Like they sent me like an invite, like, hey, you know, come join our WWDC sessions. This is an event that's normally limited to like 5,000 people where they sell like physical tickets and stuff. So in a way, it's the biggest one yet just because it's this new online format. It's going to be really interesting to see that all go down.
Yeah. Then of course, the next question is really interesting because one of the things you first started talking about was the in-store experience. Any idea how that's going to change when the Apple Store starts reopening? And is there any information Apple stores will reopen?
So yeah, they have begun opening stores already. More in the US this month. Their plan was to make sure 100% of them were open by the end of this month, by the end of May. Obviously, what Apple wants doesn't really matter. It's going to depend on what the government does. But yeah, in-store experiences aren't going to be exactly the same. They're going to limit Genius Bar appointments because if they limit them and scatter them out, you won't have customers standing next to each other or so close to each other. Today and Apple sessions will also be limited. Some areas won't have them at all for a second. Hotspots won't have Today and Apple sessions at all. And there'll be employees. There usually are employees towards the front of the store at the front doors. Those employees will be asked to enforce like distance between customers and stuff like that. So even when they open up, things will be a little bit limited when they start out. I expect Genius Bar appointments to open up and be available. It'll just be scattered in a limited capacity. But Today in Apple sessions is where they'll either be limited in some areas or just they won't have them at all until the area is not a hotspot anymore.
So I have a question personally because I was talking about this on a live stream last night with Jeff from El Jefe Reviews. The AirPods, the cheap ones. What's the latest on those?
So yeah, it's real weird because there's AirPods that are ready to ship, but the weird thing is the code name for the AirPods that are ready to ship are not the same code name as the over ears, and they're not the same code name as the AirPods X that I mentioned last month or so. So I'm not sure what they are. They could be AirPods 3. That's what I'm inclined to think, but Ming-Chi Kuo says AirPods 3 won't be coming till next year. But that means something's wrong, somebody's wrong, or something's off because there are AirPods sitting ready to be shipped that just left production. That just shipped out of the Foxconn factory, and so they're ready to go. They're ready to ship. I just don't know which ones they are.
Gotcha.
I'm told they're in the price range of $180. So I don't know what that is.
Oh.
That just sounds like a replacement, an update for normal AirPods. And
right? That's why I was thinking it might be AirPods 3, but I don't know.
I mean, those are still like really popular. I think they're going to want to keep both lineups going, so they might as well update them with some new stuff if they can. But going off that report, these headphones, these Apple headphones and stuff like that, are we expecting those soon?
I'm expecting to see something at WWDC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember this. You said you saw some things on Twitter. What did you see, or what generally did you see?
I saw with my own eyes the AR glasses.
Oh.
Yeah. Working on making sure that the people can see them
without tipping your hat.
Without legal stuff. I need to make it very clear to Apple that I do not personally have them in my possession. Gotcha. That would be theft. Yeah. So it needs to be clear that this is from a source.
Yep.
I don't physically have them.
Gotcha. Well, that's pretty good. So you've been tweeting stuff about the new Apple TV. Do we see it drop before WWDC or during WWDC or?
I mean, I don't see a reason why they would drop it at WWDC unless they wanted to like do a gaming focus. Like just refreshes like this would be such a waste at the event. Like What are they going to say? Hey, new Apple TV, and here's a minor spec bump. Like, imagine if they talked about this new MacBook Pro 13 that just came.
Mhm.
Imagine if they wasted time at WWDC talking about that when there's nothing to discuss. It would be weird if they talked about it at WWDC unless they had something gaming related that they wanted to show off. But a lot of people for some reason. So I said, did I send you guys the pictures in the group chat of the Apple TV?
No.
Okay, I'll send them now. So the I just can't post them because there's employee information literally all over it. I posted that it has an A12X chip.
Yeah.
And like people were surprised by that. But literally in 2017, that's when the latest refresh happened. That has a 10X in it.
Yeah. It was the same thing. It was a really powerful processor. But this is the thing, because I talked about this in a previous Gadgetcast. We were talking about, well, what are they going to do with the latest Apple TV? Because it only does 4K. There is no like widespread 8K. They're not going to do an 8K Apple TV. What's the point?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw you tweet a couple times games, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder, because playing games on your TV would definitely be more, I think, interesting than just on your phone. So if you have a more powerful processor on your Apple TV, it could be a more interesting experience.
Right. And so these Apple TVs the Apple TV that is about to come out has been done for a year.
Wow.
The pictures that I just sent you guys, it's been at an employee's house for a year, and they've been using it to test like the kids mode and stuff that's coming up in tvOS.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's like covered in dust because it's literally been sitting there for a year. They've been ready to go. Yeah.
Oh my God. When these people see what the next Apple TV looks like, they're gonna
They're gonna flip their wigs.
oh my God. The sky's the limit. I'm going to disagree with you, John. I could see a possibility where they announce it at WWDC if they really are doing this ARM transition. What if they just like, hey, developers, you need like something cheap to develop your apps on? Here's like a $200 Apple TV, has an A12X in it. Go nuts.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like there's more coming this month.
Okay.
You think there's more products coming this month?
Yeah.
Well, let's real quick while you're talking about that, because some people are asking in the chat. Let's just go ahead and list out what we know is done and potentially ready to go that they could release this month. So we have the Apple TV, allegedly.
The AirPods, the AirTags.
The headphones, the actual headphones?
Yeah, I don't know if they're physically ready. I don't know if they're out of production.
iMac,
and I think that's it. iMac, AirPods, AirTags.
By the way, the
Apple
AirPod, you said they were about $180?
Yeah.
You know what that sounds like to me?
What?
AirPod Pros without ANC.
That would be so weird. That's the DigiTimes report of saying the AirPod Pro Lite.
That would make sense price-wise, because then you'd have the Pro with ANC.
That feels so weird.
Without, and then the one with the charging. Well, I don't even know. Do they even sell the one without the wireless charging thing anymore at $130 or $40? Price-wise, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, we'll see.
So yeah, the issue is like, so in supply chain stuff, everything goes by code name, and you can usually tell what it is because the code name fits into a category compared to past products. Like the MacBook code names this year match the code names for MacBooks, what they always are. And all headphones and stuff have relatively the same code name or fit the same pattern. And it matches the code names of the AirPod line. So that's just like when I tweeted the MacBook Pro 13-inch last month, I said it was coming out. Literally all I had was the code name, and it just by that code name could tell that it was a MacBook Pro 13-inch. So it looks like AirPods. So I'm curious to see what happens or when they actually drop, because out of all the things that are the most secretive, I think marketing is. And so it's hard to figure out what the marketing name for stuff is going to be or what they plan on naming something. But from the code name, it looks like AirPods. The price point is weird, and I'm not sure. And then the conflicting reports from Quo saying we're not getting stuff till next year. I'm not sure, but something is ready to go. And I highly doubt that they're just sitting on AirPods till next year.
No,
that are ready to ship.
Yeah, that's I'm not seeing that either. Speaking of audio stuff, I've heard stuff about a new HomePod and HomePod Mini. Do we know anything about that?
Yeah, they're we on my first time here on GadgetCast, we mentioned the HomePod Mini.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know anything. I'm pretty sure it's not even out of production. But yeah.
So there's another question in here. I'm trying to find it. Well, here's one good question. Are you impressed with the AR glasses, or should we not get hyped for them?
Yeah. Yeah. Be hyped. It's like think Google Glass, but like somebody cared.
Now I would be interested in that. I would be interested in that. That sounds really amazing.
I'm ready. I think that's the next big thing. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
This next question comes from a video that actually I made specifically about your leaks, about going to BOE. The switching from Samsung OLED to BOE panels will translate into better quality, which, by the way, it was all John's idea to make that video. So shout out to John for that. Appreciate that.
I don't think think it'll be better quality. It's the law of diminishing returns. BOE doesn't make better panels than Samsung, but for the quality you get at the price you're going to be able to get it, we aren't going to be able to notice the difference. Normal people won't notice the difference. But Apple's getting a better deal with BOE, so I don't blame them for going that route.
Is the 2020 iMac a redesign or just another spec bump?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a Mark Gurman is the one that reported a redesign. I just know that one's ready. It could be Mark Gurman's redesign, or it might just be another spec bump. Who knows?
Yeah. 120 hertz iPhone 12 Pro. I think that's that more or less been confirmed.
So, the Pro line has hardware. The hardware supports 120 hertz. There's still the option of Apple changing their mind and nerfing it in software, just to conserve battery. Similar to how we had that Ice Universe had tweeted that Samsung's S20 Ultra stuff, that they were the hardware was capable of, what was it, 120 hertz, or was it less, 90 hertz, something like that. But they had killed it in software. I think it launched with it anyway, so I guess he was wrong about that. But it's a similar situation here where the hardware is totally capable of it, but if you don't see it, it's software related and could most likely be unlocked. But if they didn't do it, I would imagine it's just to conserve battery.
Controversial Apple TV remote. Is it going to be new? Is it going to be different?
I don't know. So the pictures I have are just, and I sent them to Travis and Greg. They're just of the Apple TV. The remote's not even in those pictures, so I don't know.
Yep. Can we expect iPhone 12 5.4 to drop in September? Or are we looking at October, November?
Absolutely October.
So
late October, something like that.
If for whatever, and I think California, I believe I heard, will not allow any large gatherings at all this year for the rest of the year.
Really?
That's what I was been told that the governors have said. I don't know if it's a law or anything like that, but they've at least said it somewhere.
Yeah.
So that being the case, and I know a lot of times they do them in California. They could, of course, move them to New York, but that doesn't sound like a good idea. If they can't find any place to gather people, do you think they're working on a streaming solution to this? Because they've already not had the one, as you have shown, the one presentation they were going to have when you got the presentation. That and of course they're doing WWDC, but that's quite different than an iPhone launch. Like that's a much bigger deal.
And because especially so WWDC works because it's a software event anyway.
Right. Exactly.
But the hardware events, they usually have people come out and check out the hardware after the event, and the press gets to look at it and publish their own articles and photos and videos and stuff. And you're talking about a bunch of sticky people touching the same devices, and it's just I don't know. It's hard to see what the next step is, because the step out of this pandemic is almost more up in the air than because during the pandemic we all know, okay, we got to shut everything down, no nothing. But it's kind of it seems like a foreign idea right now to this is the new normal at this point. So it seems weird to try to assume what's going to happen on the way out of this pandemic and how we're going to treat it. I can't imagine Apple invites a bunch of people onto the campus because even throughout the year, employees are going to be limited at the campus. They're only inviting certain employees back, and they're just going to try not to have it filled and packed with people. So I can't imagine that at an event, people sitting next to each other in the audience is one thing, but having them physically touch all the same hardware and like take turns with it sounds real sketchy.
When's the Apple toilet coming?
Next month.
Nice. Jacob, in my opinion, a renewed 10S instead of the new SE.
That was a silly question.
I know. I think it's because I do the renewed series and I have the SE, and in my opinion, it's the 10S. The real question: will there be Apple leather cases for the 5? They have to, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
They've only been doing them for like 10 years. I think it's the same bet that they're gonna keep it going.
Yeah. Well, the streaming WWDC
Yes.
to the public.
I mean, it's available to the public every year.
What does Apple see the future in LiDAR consumer wise? Like, what are they going to use LiDAR for?
All the LiDAR data right now is just being siphoned right into the AR team.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, there's your answer.
Oh, you guys want your exclusive?
Oh, yes. By the way, do we have music for an exclusive? Exclusive. Oh, before we do that, let's do a real quick break for our sponsor, our own Gadgets Cast shirts. Can you play that Jern clip about buying the shirts, please?
Oh yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is our sponsor of the show. And
I have something labeled audio message. I hope this is it. Hold on.
All right, here we go.
Oh no.
You can go ahead and play this as my endorsement for these shirts. Buy the shirts, or Jon Prosser will eat your ass.
So please buy the shirts. Go to in the description below. Get your either cancel Greg or cancel Travis shirt today.
And Genosis put it in the chat too.
Thank you, Genosis. That is our sponsor. We are sponsoring ourselves. All right. What is the exclusive?
Okay, so, and the best part is no one's going to believe it when I say it. So that's the best part.
Do it.
Is this why you're leaving here? Because it doesn't matter if people don't leave.
Yeah, that's why. Apple's redesigning their logo.
Oh, that's interesting.
No.
Yeah, only the most iconic brand logo in history.
That's a really big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so technically, it was redesigned in 2013. So it could be a stylistic thing, like I think 2013 is when they went with the flat logo, but before that it was like a metal silver logo, and they had the rainbow one. It'd be cool to go back to the rainbow logo.
Yeah.
I can't see it being a total redesign where like what do they do? Like just put the bite back in the apple, or put Tim Cook's face in the apple? I don't know.
Remember when like Steve Jobs died and some like artist did like a tribute where it's like the Apple logo, but then you see like Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they do that.
Maybe. It's very hard for me to believe that they would change the logo entirely. I would expect like a stylistic change to it. No to rainbows. I think the rainbow would be cool, or retro look coming back. That'd be cool. Anyway.
Yeah.
But they've gone from rainbow to like metalish to flat white. Like I don't know what could be next with a stylistic change or what they'd be looking for. But yeah, redesigned logos happening. I just don't know if it's going to be a stylistic change or if they're going to change it all the way. It'd be such a stupid move for them to change the most iconic logo.
I really want to give people context for this, because when it is like the slightest change in the world, I don't want people to come back and say like, "Oh my god, you were wrong."
I mean, if they change the logo, they change the logo.
Yeah, exactly. It's a binary thing.
Can I share my screen just to
real quick? Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. Let
me when you're gonna do it.
Let me show you like the slight revisions that John's talking about, because I know exactly.
I think we know the iPhone colors. We'll get back to that right after this. Right after this.
So when John talks about changing the logo, you can see it's been
there we go.
Years, and it's been like very slight, but it has changed. And I don't know what that.
Wait, is the 1999 through 2000? Is that the same logo as what we have now?
It looks similar. It's a little bit squattier.
Yeah.
What does squattier mean?
It means like it's
squattier.
like you next to MKBHD. You're squattier than MKBHD.
I don't even know what that means, dude.
Uh,
Shorter?
Yeah, squattier, like shorter and outier.
What? Yeah. What do they just take the bite out? What is that?
They need this one. They need the classic. The
look at
apple
that thing.
on Isaac Newton's head. You can't even see it, but they need to do that.
That was a chain of metal. Is what
I say go rainbow. I say make the Greg's Gadgets logo where I stole these colors even more relevant today. Let's do it.
By the way, I would like to mention this is probably the worst part of the podcast for the audio listeners. Just wanted to throw that out.
Go to actualapple.com/the monochrome Apple logo 20th anniversary. All dashes in between that. There you go.
All dashes. I'm sure they were going to write that right down. This is why GadgetCast is the most relevant podcast you can ever listen to, because we give you URLs in the audio.
So yeah, logo redesign happening. So I was the word that was used with me was redesign. So, but I just find it very hard to believe that they would change the logo a lot. Like a very massive change to the logo would be it'd be real silly. So I would expect a stylistic change at most.
I remember reading a rumor, like I think not too long ago, where they were saying like they were thinking about bringing the rainbow logo back. So maybe
they were. I think the rumor had to do with Apple stores. Like maybe they're putting the rainbow logo on Apple stores. I can't remember.
Yeah, and it mentioned products too at one point, and I was like, that'd be cool. And then it never happened. Like a special edition like product with it. But it never happened.
That'd be real cool. So I wouldn't mind if the rainbow one came back.
I'd like it.
We already answered the question about the MacBook 16, so you have to go back in the episode to listen to that.
Yeah, Martin.
Yeah, come on. Why are you here late, man?
Hey, Martin, get out of here. You're never allowed to watch GadgetCats again.
We also, a Rap Gamer, have already answered this question as well, so you're going to have to rewind. Let's see. Okay. How did John get into the leak game? I think someone just leaked on him. Did someone leak on you?
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Did you get leaked on?
Yeah, I was doing Google Pixel stuff and then Samsung stuff. And then when I did the Samsung prices, the S20 prices, I was like, I like this. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to open my DMs and start a Signal account, Telegram account. Just made myself more accessible. And I guess people that like my platform and fans of the show that also happen to work at Apple reached out. And here we are, leaking lots of stuff.
Apple Watch news.
Gotta listen to the last GadgetCast. You dropped so much Apple Watch news on the last one.
Sure. Yeah, we talked a lot about Apple Watch stuff. There was, to address something real quick, there was a tweet by Love to Dream.
Who's that?
Yes.
Like earlier this week, it was like, don't buy an Apple Watch soon.
Oh.
No, it's not coming till later this year. There's no Apple Watch on the way.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that tweet too, and it got me like mad because like people are like retweeting it, and I'm just like, there's gonna be an Apple Watch, but like if you need one now, like they on Amazon today, they're like $100 off. I'm like, what a great time to buy one. But
yeah.
Weird.
All right, Trenton says, will there be another iPod Touch?
I don't know, man. I mean,
it's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah. When did they bring the last one out? Last year, or was it the year before?
Yeah, last year. Like not like it hasn't even been out a full year yet. I did a video on it.
Do you regret not opening yourself up earlier? I mean, open yourself up there, Jernzo.
So you mean leaky stuff?
I think he means leaky stuff, not like
no. I think it came at the right time, and I'm better equipped to handle all this stress that comes with it now. I'm barely handling it well, but I'm glad it's coming now later in my career rather than earlier.
Any info whether the iPhone 12 lineup will have frosted glass?
Should just look like the one. What do we have now? Is that what do you call that? Frosted?
It's what is that considered, Greg? It's like a matted
frosted glass, like a matte finish on the Pro.
Yeah.
The 10S was a fingerprint magnet like this, which I'm showing.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're continuing with the frost,
and it looks so good.
So another new iPad Pro coming this year? Question mark.
So that's what I tweeted this last month. I was like, so I was told there's a one-off 5G. It's literally the same thing, just with a 5G and I believe it was a 14X processor in it to better handle the 5G. And everyone was like, well, I thought it was a mini LED one. And I was like, nah, it's not coming until 2021. And now you hear from probably the most reputable Apple leaker that mini LED stuff isn't coming till next year. It's delayed till next year. I'll check with my sources to see if the one-off iPad is still planned, but I was told that it's supposed to drop with the 5G iPhones. Everything's 5G. I don't think anyone has said this yet. The AR glasses are 5G. They work off. Yeah. So the AR glasses, I believe they're just called Apple glasses. They run off 5G and will heavily depend on your Apple Watch and iPhone for data. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So they have sensors in them, but for just more accurate calibration, they use the sensors in your watch and your phone too.
But all the processing is going to be done on phone, right? Or watch, maybe, I guess, even technically.
I believe on the phone. I think they'll still work even if you don't have an Apple Watch. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, it'll take sensor data from the phone and the watch that you're wearing.
Gotcha.
Nice. That'd be cool.
I talked about this on the last Gadget Cast too. Its own OS UI called Starboard. Yeah, it's really cool. From the front end, like if you're looking at someone that's wearing Apple glasses and it's displaying something on the screen, you can't see it. Like if Greg's wearing them, I wouldn't be able to see that there's anything being displayed on the lenses. Only Greg can see it.
Do they look like glasses, or do they look like?
They look like glasses.
Oh wow!
They don't look like heavy machinery on your face. Just almost exactly what you would expect from Apple.
Wow!
It just looks like. What I saw was a white and a black one.
There you go.
So yeah,
interesting. Do we know what the resolution of the iPad iPhone?
That is going to be all over the news tomorrow.
What, the resolution of the iPhones?
The AR glasses stuff.
It's over. You're going to resolution on iPhones. This guy's spilling his heart out about AR glasses.
I just missed that. Hold on. So information. Oh, because we just said it here.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought
5G AR glasses. You can't see it. What? Nice. White or black, and you're going on resolution of the iPhone.
Questions in, but also it doesn't make sense to have 5G if it's gonna pair off your phone and stuff. Like, what's the point of that? Or is it gonna be 5G and a Wi-Fi version?
Because what happens if you leave your house without your phone, but you're wearing your glasses?
Yeah, but they offer the watches in both, like, cellular.
What if you don't have an Apple Watch?
My point is that they offer the watch in both ways.
The Apple Watch will be 5G too.
Okay, no, you're missing what I'm saying. My point is that they offer a Wi-Fi and a 5G version, regardless if you have a phone, right? So I'm just saying, are they not going to offer a Wi-Fi and 5G version of the AR glasses? Or just going to be?
I don't believe so, because you need your glasses to see, and so whether you can't have your stuff go out just because you forgot your phone at home or.
Prescription more so than like an additional.
Yeah.
So if you don't need a prescription, do you get like sunglasses? I mean, what's the deal?
I haven't heard anything about sunglasses. I just saw 2 prototypes, one white, one black. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. And they look real clean, real sleek. Like, I'm trying to get a video to you guys. It just requires lawyers and
lawyers.
Yeah.
How much I want that if it requires lawyers. Air power really returning.
Yes. It's happening.
Yes.
Yeah. What about it?
I don't know. Any news?
Are they making iOS 14, John? Is it coming out? I don't know.
Nope, right to iOS 15.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're gonna pull iPhone 10 on us. iOS 20. Any cool features in iOS 14 that really stand out from anything that's been
not that hasn't been leaked.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, this person says $1,000 glasses. I mean, you got $700 wheels that don't have a brake on them. That's possible. Have you seen that, Greg? The wheels don't have a brake, so if you just sit your $700 wheels on your $1 million iMac and just let it sit there, it might roll across the damn room. Have you seen that video?
Your room has a slight slope.
Yeah, if your room has any type of slope, that thing's that's rolling.
I feel sorry for the people that can afford it.
Well, you afforded the $900 stand.
Let's be honest here.
$1,000.
That's going to display my Apple AR glasses. It's going to come in handy. Let me tell you.
I know you addressed the ARM 16-inch next year, but does that mean they're going to skip the 16-inch update this year? I don't know that we exactly clarified that.
Didn't we just get a 16-inch update?
Yeah, like late 2019. I don't know if they can take.
Yeah. Okay. So the issue is the BAP. I almost said the word. That's the issue. The updates that were supposed to be coming late this year are coming next year, because all resources to get products out in time have gone straight to the iPhone 12 lineup to try to get it out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Jeff, from Helfer, was just, I think he came a little bit after I mentioned the fact that I think, because him and I talked about this last night, that those AirPods might be AirPod Pros without the ANC.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
That's really interesting. 5G Apple Watch? Question mark?
Yep.
Yes, of course.
So it's sort of out of their control, the 5G thing. They have to do it because of the agreement with Qualcomm. So,
yep. Are the Apple glasses for consumers or prosumers? Pretty good question.
Consumers.
I'm my doctor.
100% the consumers.
Well, how are they going to be priced in a way that's going to be for consumers? I'm just trying to. So this is not necessarily unusual. Amazon actually was attempting to do this a couple of years ago, and what they ended up with is what I think is out now in like limited beta. So it started out quite different. It ended up like pared back from what I remember seeing.
Even the Amazon glasses look like a piece of tech.
Well,
these look like glasses.
That's the thing. They weren't supposed to. They were originally supposed to be prescription type glasses that you then get. So, but I guess Amazon, of course, this was years ago. So Amazon didn't have maybe the technology to get it in the price that they wanted to, because of course Amazon is trying to get it really low priced. Apple now at this point probably could make it happen, and they're not going to be as worried about price on this because it's going to be potentially so damn cool. People are just going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean the the Echo frames that exist now are what, like 200, and then if you get them early, they're like 100. So, I mean, I'm not seeing these in a world that are less than 500, probably more, depending on what they do.
And people will still pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there are people, every day that paid that amount for just regular glasses.
Regular smegular glasses. That's 100% true. So more than likely, these will fit a prescription. You'll just take them to wherever, and they'll plop in your lenses. More than likely, 99% positive.
I think what he's really asking is, we've seen like Google Glass in like the business aspect where they're kind of meant for business and like you can use them there. But Apple's a very consumer focused company. I don't think something
so Google Glass was part of what, Project X? Was that what it was called at Google? It was like their experimental division. That's not what this is. This is when it's ready to launch, it's ready to launch. It's not that's why they're taking their time with it. That's why we've been hearing about these since like 2017. Typical Apple, they don't release stuff until it's ready for everybody else. They're not going to go ahead of the curve and try to like put out something that's super experimental and only for a limited number of people. When these roll out, they'll be for everybody.
Yeah, like Microsoft has the HoloLens, and I've used that, and it is super impressive technology, but it's like you have to have it like hooked up to like a desktop, and it's like no consumer in their right mind is going to buy it. And even when it's hooked up to your desktop, it's just a bunch of tech demos that you would never, like you'd look at it once and go, wow, that's cool, and then you would never put it on your head again.
You want your brain to hurt?
Go ahead.
So I was told Apple glasses are coming next year.
Right.
Around March, WWDC time. However, if you look at the WWDC image that they just put out, there is a guy wearing glasses with a notification on the glasses.
What? Show that, Greg. Pull that up on the screen,
Greg. Yeah, I saw Greg's face. Yep. So that's what I mean. Your brain will hurt.
Hold on.
Well, in case in point, they would, kind of like we talked about for other things, WWDC would be a great opportunity to say, this thing is coming. We need you guys to program stuff for it. I mean, it makes sense.
If you have a screenshot I can send you guys, where is it?
You guys talk. I don't even know what I'm looking up.
Just look up the WWDC. Here, I'm going to send it to the group chat. Okay.
Yep.
Check it out. That is 100% a notification on the guy's glasses.
Where'd you send it? In the private chat in here?
Group chat on iMessage.
Oh, on iMessage. Okay, I just got it.
That looks like a notification. Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't really noticed it. Is that what the glasses look like though? They're kind of like squared offish.
Kinda.
Oh, kind of like that. That is interesting. It kind of just flew by, huh? Because why would that be up there?
Yeah. I mean, why would they put a notification on somebody's glasses like that?
That is really interesting.
You think that's like intentional, like Easter egg, like we're gonna release these, or do you think like?
And normally you wouldn't know to look for that, but I've seen the glasses. So when I saw the guy wearing that, I was like, huh?
Like,
and then
what?
I saw the notification. And I was like, because I was told it's coming next year.
Yeah.
But
maybe
we'll have maybe it's an Air Power moment, a teaser.
Yeah.
And then they cancel it next year.
Anything's possible.
I don't have a camera set up.
Camera. Yeah.
Why aren't you on YouTube? Why are you on Twitter, on Periscope? Questions for you too.
I can't see it. No, it's not a reflection. It's right above. All you gotta do is look. It's a little red thing.
Are we able to put that on the stream so they can see it?
Greg would pull the damn thing up. I could.
Well, I sent it in iMessage. Do you want me to send it somewhere else?
Well, here.
Airdrop it to my iMac. Look at this. The Apple technology is working. Oh my God,
We'll pull it up on the stream so people can see it.
So
the Beats X will come out next year. Supposed to be September this year.
So I'm gonna wait until next year.
All right, Travis.
Okay, here we go.
See him?
There it is. See that red little number 1 up there? That's what we're talking about. So the people on the audio podcast, all you got to do is do a Google search for the WWDC invite. You will see an animated character, an emoji with glasses on and a little red number 1, which indicates the, well, let's just be honest. It indicates a notification.
They said, is it a reflection? I can't see it. Hopefully, if you look at it on GadgetCast right now, you can see that's not a reflection. Yeah. That is a notification badge on the dude's glasses.
Yep.
And he turns left at the right moment. You can see he's standing in front of a green screen. Stuff right now. I don't know. But yeah, that's interesting. That's pretty
undeniable. That's pretty undeniable.
Yeah, if I looked at that normally, I would never just go, "Oh, Apple AR glasses." I'm like,
and this is not a leak. This is just me speculating.
Yeah. I mean,
those images, those are what animojis or memojis behind the MacBooks.
Yeah.
Face ID. Anybody?
Face ID with an emoji?
Face ID on MacBooks. That's what that looks like. That's not a leak. That is speculation on my part. But those images with the memojis, the animojis or whatever behind the MacBooks like that, how do we get animojis? Face ID sensors.
So you think ARM MacBooks with Face ID kind of thing?
I mean, it would fit in the bezel, would it not?
Absolutely, I think so.
iPad Pro has it.
Yeah, that's true. iPad Pro does have it. And it is kind of weird that sort of thing, that sort of technology isn't in like anything else other than the mobile stuff. It is kind of weird.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think there was a patent this year or last year with Face ID in a MacBook.
We had a bunch of questions about this mini LED thing, which I think we may have answered earlier.
All mini LED products will happen next year.
Yeah.
And he's asking the wrong will they prefer there's been a lot of talk about whether these ARM processors that are destined for the Mac, is it something that's going to eventually infect the entire Mac lineup, or are there still going to be processors that are for Intel or maybe AMD?
I'm told it's a complete transition.
Complete. So like all the way down to the MacBook Air.
Yeah, we might not see a refresh happen to everything all at once where it's just like all of a sudden all Macs are ARM. But all of this is to make sure Apple can make their own silicon.
So eventually they have plans to even put this in like the Mac Pro.
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's good. That's something we don't know yet. That's really valuable information.
I missed it. What? I was looking at chat. What happened?
So basically, John's telling us that their plan is to put their ARM chips not just in their laptops, but across the entire line.
And it makes sense because think about how far ahead Apple is, especially in terms of silicon. And Intel's just they're slacking. No one else has been able to match Apple. And so, I mean, that would present the most power to the lineup and they wouldn't have to depend on anybody else.
And just think right now, these ARM chips are in little tiny phones and iPads with no fans or like dedicated cooling in them. Can you imagine like if Apple's like, all right, we got like these big fans in the Mac Pro. How high can we really crank these processors?
Yeah.
It would be insane the kind of performance they're going to be able to get out of that stuff. And
again, not saying that it's happening to everything all at once. It'll be a transition.
A lot of people asking about the potato webcam that's on all the MacBooks.
Yeah, that's kind of depressing, huh?
It's ridiculous. What is happening? Is that ever going away? Do they realize that this is a problem? They have to know this.
I would hope that this is the last, that we just saw the last MacBook Pro with a 720p webcam.
You know what's funny about it? Maybe it will be because they've probably had to do a lot of their meetings over their own laptops, and
they're like, "Oh my god,
this
is awful."
People.
I've heard Renee say that this is like a physical limitation of the screen being so thin that fitting in a webcam with more advanced optics might actually be like kind of impossible. Like they might actually have to put like a camera bump on like a Mac or something like that.
The front-facing camera on iPhones isn't.
Well, what he's saying is the thickness of the lid. I'm thinking about that too, and that is kind of thin. But you have to imagine by next year any kind of better lens than what's on any of those.
I'd say make those lids just a little bit thicker. Bring back the glowing Apple logo. They got to get rid of that because the lids are so thin. Bring back the thick lids. Hashtag bring back the thick lids.
It's baby, baby. Yeah. So I just realized. I guess we're gonna start to wrap up here. It's been about an hour. But I remember that the last time we did this, we wrapped up. I think we were talking for like another hour after the fact. So instead of like losing all that great content, we'll go for a couple more minutes just because we've hit on some really cool stuff here in the last couple minutes, and I'm sure some follow-up questions will come. So let's real quick get into some of those. What do you thought about the iPad Air 4? Is it happening? When is it happening? So in other words, is the Air line of iPads going to continue?
I haven't heard anything, but I would expect. So the way stuff works is like if there's something in the immediate future, my sources will usually reach out and let me know. Other than that, I have to ask about it. So if you guys have questions that I haven't thought of yet, I can take those questions and ask the right people.
That's good. Okay. Is a Ryzen MacBook Pro 16? So a lot of people are asking about AMD's transitioning over, Apple transitioning over to AMD.
I think he just explained himself. Why bother?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that's my point. Is that essentially there's no, if they can get through the next little bit and get ARM where it needs to be, which is, I mean, it's darn near there, really. Then AMD will not be making business with. At least we don't think anyway.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question. John, you talked last time on GadgetCast about Pro applications coming over to the iPad Pro. That Apple was working on things like Xcode and Final Cut. Do you think we might see that at WWDC, or it's too early for that?
I would love to see it at WWDC. I'm not sure. I just know it's coming within the next year. I tweeted that I'm 100% confident. I tweeted that after I saw with my own eyes Final Cut Pro running on an iPad Pro, and I saw a logo for what's called Pro Apps. So what we're looking at is stuff like Final Cut, Logic, Xcode as an upsell to iPad Pro, where iPad Pros get specific Pro apps that you can get. And from what I know, if you purchased like Final Cut or whatever, that transitions over to your iPad.
Really?
So so you won't have to buy it again. But the caveat there is what I saw looked watered down. So I'm not a Final Cut Pro user.
Sure.
What it looks like is a watered down version, not crazy. It's not a handicapped version. Like they didn't cut it in half and like get rid of the features, but it's definitely watered down, I would expect, because of RAM management. It will not, from what I know, go down to like, the regular base model iPads. It's just iPad Pro. And what I would expect to happen is, so what I saw was watered down. By the time it gets announced and released, we might have a fuller version. Who knows? Maybe I just saw an early version. Or what we might be looking at is when these Pro apps launch, they'll be sort of watered down, and then features will be added as RAM gets increased on iPad Pros.
So you've seen Final Cut running on it.
I've seen it.
So it's optimized for iPad. It's not like they just took Final Cut and threw it on there. Like it has
no, it's not a fork. It's not a fork of it's not just like, it's like LumaFusion, but not. It's
I
like it's still Final Cut, and it wasn't. I know there's going to be people speculating. Well, maybe he just saw Sidecar. No. This was not the version of Final Cut that you use on your Mac. This was a version of Final Cut optimized for iPad Pro. I didn't see Logic Pro, and I haven't seen Xcode with my own eyes. I've seen Final Cut Pro running on an iPad Pro.
That'd be a game changer. Game changer. A couple quick questions. Do you pay for your sources? Number
No,
one.
that's illegal.
That's illegal. And then let's see. There's another one. No, we already did that. Is there anything exciting for leaks on the Google side of things?
Oh no, I'm on greener pastures at this point.
People care more stuff about Apple leaks, as you can see here in the chat.
Yeah, and your Pixel 4a is coming out the 22nd.
This month?
Yeah.
Pixel 4a, 22nd. You heard it here, second or first, maybe third. I did see someone ask a question, which I thought was pretty good. Do you know if the base storage of the iPhone 12 is going up from 64?
So I wanna hope that it is, but considering the price point, it makes way more sense for them to have those prices and start at 64 gigs, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think maybe the Pro models go 128. I think.
Yeah,
That's what I was speculating in my thing, because the iPad Pros now start at 128, and
that would make more sense. Yeah. Also, I think did we talk about the Apple TV storage capacities going up? 64 gigs, 128. Those are the storage options.
Yeah, you didn't say on here.
The current one is what? 32 and 64.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So starting higher, 64, which is legitimately just for games, because there's no reason for that on.
Yeah, the images that I sent you guys are the base model, and this is 64 gig model.
I heard a rumor that Apple might be developing their own controller. Do you have any insight on that?
I heard that it's happening, but I don't know when. I don't have a time frame. Like, I don't know if it's in production right now. Would make sense though if they're going to focus on gaming and Apple Arcade with this new Apple TV.
Okay. You know what's interesting about this? I just was sitting here thinking, as we start to just have a little bit of time where we lay on this plane. You know a lot, Jern. It's not like you just know about iPhones or just about how do these conversations go? Are they like, hey, what's going on? I work in this department. It happens to know about these Apple products. It seems like you know a lot about a lot. It's not just a little bit of information for about one particular product line. It's pretty incredible. Like what you're talk about.
Well, I've been doing this for a month or two now, and the information sort of just gathers up in my brain because either it's bits and pieces of info, like I can answer questions if it's asked, but a lot of it isn't specific info or enough info to create a whole report on and tweet. So there's a lot of stuff in my head of bits and pieces of stuff that, like, if I'm on a show like this or I'm asked about, I could give bits and pieces and answer it. But yeah, there's lots of sources from every department, and the sources that I have been working with, anytime they have new information, they immediately bring it to me. Sometimes I'll ask. The sources that I am closest to and that I have the most trust with are my timeline sources, the ones that are so high up. They're the ones that are telling me that, the MacBook Pro is dropping today, stuff like that. That's my favorite, because I don't think we've ever had a leaker that's been able to do that before, but where every drop, every surprise is just ruined. So that's my favorite stuff, is the because all these rumors build up and you hear about the products, and we all get caught on rumors, but the other than the products themselves, the biggest question that people ask is, when am I getting it? So being able to answer that and be like, it's coming out on the 15th, or it's coming out today. Today's the day. That stuff is great. And it feels like I unlocked cheat code, because even just me, being surprised. And, I've done this every year where we get surprise Apple releases and stuff. And the fact that I know, like, I can wake up and I know if something's dropping today or not. And like Tuesday, people asked me if a product was coming. I was like, no, nothing today. And then Wednesday, I was like, new iMac's ready to ship. And they were like, well, it's iMac's new anniversary, or it's the anniversary for iMac. Maybe today. And it's like, nope, haven't heard anything today. So just being able to know whether anything's queued up for that day is really cool. And those sources have been really, really good.
I saw some people asking, like, do you know your sources in real life and that sort of thing? And actually,
Nope.
it's easier to not know that. It's actually
Yeah.
better to not know that information. Plausible deniability is one of your best defenses. I guess so many things have changed with front page tech, and with all of these leaks, there have at least been one casualty you know about. I know you talked about some Friday Night Viper, and I think it's appropriate since the last time we were on GadgetCast, you're talking about leaks. Since that, something has happened to one of your sources, and I think it's incredibly interesting. So if you have some information to share with it, I think it shows how this game is not dangerous, but like it's a real deal.
So I want to clarify, I did not get the source caught. This wasn't my fault. A few of my sources know each other, and because word of mouth and stuff. And one of the biggest sources, did I tell you guys who it was?
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna when I DM, I'm gonna message you guys in the group chat, and you'll know. And if you check, you'll see that they've gone dark. So they were a really good source of mine in production, and a lot of the leaks, not just that you've seen from me, but you've seen from a lot of people, just gone. As far as I know, he's alive and well. He's good, but he is like shunned at this point. What happened was he had a prototype of an iPhone, and like I said on GadgetCast before, prototypes are, when they're marked obsolete, they're supposed to be destroyed or vaulted. Vaulted is exactly what it sounds like. It just gets put away somewhere and get locked away, or destroyed, which you know what that word means. But he had a prototype of an iPhone 11 that ran iOS 14, and he gave it to somebody in a publication. Not going to say the website or the person. As a way to, because all the sources, they do certain things to prove that they have valid information. And so he made a mistake and sent the wrong thing to the wrong person in the wrong publication. And the person in the publication, as a way to brag, shared and spread that image around of that iPhone prototype. The issue is the iPhone prototype image had the serial number of that device in it. And obviously the serial number is not going to come up in any carrier database or anything. It's only in Apple's database. And that image was never shared publicly. So even if you try to look for it, you'll never find it. I'm not sure how Apple tracked it down, but I have it. A few other people have it, which wasn't good because obviously it got spread around. But basically, because that source sent the wrong image with a little bit too much information in it to the wrong person at the wrong publication, that person turned around and shared it and made it seem like he or she had that iPhone. Like, it wasn't, the source had the iPhone, but the person that was sharing it was acting as if it was their iPhone and they had iOS 14 on their phone. It was like, oh, how'd you get iOS 14? Moral of the story, that completely screwed the source, and Apple's global security team caught on to it, tracked him down, and he's gone. So yeah, and it's just, and it happened so quick, and it's not like, it's one of those things that didn't even get shared publicly, but somehow Apple caught on, the wrong person found out, and there was really no way around it. There was a full serial number. And, all those serial numbers are attached to a division, an employee. And so it was really easy for Apple to get the person. But I've never had a source caught because of anything I did. This is the only source that I've lost, and it was because of somebody else's doing.
Yeah. We do have a question for GadgetCast. When are we going to have Burn on? As soon as we are ready to cancel Jern. That's who we're going to bring on, because we know that he is the guy that can do that. Mr. Burn.
It's true. He has all the secrets.
And of course, when will the next GadgetCast with Jon Prosser be planned? It's never planned. John is usually in the chat. GadgetCast, we do GadgetCast on Sundays at 2 p.m. Pacific. That's 5 p.m. Eastern. You also can find us on all the major podcasting platforms. You can find us on Twitter, You can find us everywhere. Now, please do us a favor with all these people watching. If you enjoyed this episode, I need Greg from Greg's Gadgets to tell everyone how to leave an incredible review so that we can once again ascend to the top 50.
So here's the deal. Travis is really bad at hyping things up and trying to get let Greg take advantage of it. Listen, you guys want Jon Prosser on, but he said we only have 70 ratings in Apple Podcasts, and he said he's not coming back on until we have 100 ratings. So if you want,
threatened him.
If you want more Jon Prosser leaks, you gotta. If you have an iOS device, go to the Apple Podcast app, find GadgetCast, leave us a 5-star rating, and we'll get you even more leaks next time. Push us up in the charts. MKBHD stole my thumbnail, so I want to steal Wave 4 in the podcast lineup.
Wait, hang on. Let me see Let me see where he's at.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
I think Jern is still above MKBHD, which is kind of crazy.
So listen. I know a lot of you guys are on YouTube. You obviously don't listen to the audio version on the Apple Podcast app. Even if you don't listen to it, it actually helps our show out a tremendous amount if you just subscribe to it and you leave a rating. You don't actually have to listen to the audio show. It's going to be better quality sometimes. But if you really want to help us out, just hit subscribe, leave us a rating. That's it. We'll get more Jern coming your way.
We absolutely will do that. And I think this question is pretty easy to answer. I think even I can answer this. The EU laws are about USB-C. It's what is it? Yeah, you can't have like Lightning. It has to be USB-C or something like that. So it doesn't necessarily mean a portless iPhone, at least not immediately, because what Apple will do is they will literally just ship a dongle.
Exactly. People have been, this happened. Remember the same thing happened last year. Remember Viper fighting with me for like a week straight about they're definitely going to put USB-C because they're not above the law, and the EU says that they need USB-C. They'll just put a USB-C adapter in the box. They are not going to give up the Lightning port. The only time they're going to do that is when they go wireless.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at this.
Which we should at least have one portless iPhone next year.
Next year. Wow. Yeah. That's pretty quick. Just leave a 5-star. Let's go. Will Story. Let's go.
Yeah. If you really want to brag, go to the Apple Podcast app, and then you can actually write a review and just be like, praise Jern. And then I'll know you guys want it. So
literally, if you want to leave a hashtag toilet cast,
you tried.
If you want to, the Toilet Squad into the review, that's fine. We would love to see that. We would love to see that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, we're not going to run this guy.
I'll leave a link in the chat for people. Look at that.
Greg.
Look at that. GadgetCast. I don't know. I guess it's not clickable. GadgetCast. Go leave the review. Say praise Jern. It's at 70 now. I better get off this tonight. When I'm going to bed at night and I'm checking my phone one last time.
I feel like that gets updated so slow. Like people leave reviews, but they don't show up 2 hours later.
John. When I check I'm going to bed tonight, and I'm looking at my phone, before I gotta turn off the lights and be alone with my thoughts. I better see 100 ratings just to make myself feel better. So I can go
So right now, Recycle Bin's number 7.
Nice.
MKBHD. Oh, is he gone? Oh no, he's number 10.
Okay.
So we just need to get GadgetCast up past Marquez.
Yeah, can you imagine if we both passed? That would be amazing.
Get us past number 9. MKBHD stole my thumbnail, so I want to steal his podcast spot. I've not forgiven him yet. He has not called me. I gave him my number. He knows where to find me, as Viper would say. So,
that's right.
MKBHD, if you're listening and watching, we got to rectify the situation, because I'm coming for that number. What was he? 10?
10.
I'm coming for that number 10 spot. You know what? I don't want the number 9 spot. I want to be number 10 and bump you to 11.
Maybe
I want you
to pass us.
Yeah. Get you out of.
I don't think that happening, dude. You do a one.
It's not fair that we pull one episode out in 8 months.
Here. You're like up in the top 6. Real quick, just so people know what we're talking about. Jern did drop a podcast, in case you didn't know. It's Recycle Bin. A lot of newer fans of the show may not even know that you had a podcast, but I mean, most people don't, because you rarely ever actually do one. So he did one, just because, like a week or so ago, and then immediately shoots up the entire rankings for Apple Podcasts, like a freaking shotgun to like 6 in all of tech, beating out people like MKBHD and such.
Like us.
and then we dropped. We dropped down to number 10, and then I plugged it on FPT, and it went right back up. Thank you, everybody.
It's insane. It is absolutely insane. So check out the recycle bin. It's not hard to find. Literally just go to the rankings of podcasts and you'll find it. Tech. Recycle bin is in the house.
Has a front page tech logo on it now. I changed the album art because I figured people wouldn't even know.
Yeah, that was a good move because I wouldn't have known either. We are definitely the most relevant tech podcast. Smash that like button. We appreciate you, Tish. And everyone who watched, of course, this has been another episode of GadgetCast. We'll be back on Sunday. So make sure you're in the live stream if you're here at youtube.com/GadgetCast and any of the normal and even abnormal places you listen to your podcast audio. We are GadgetCast. He's Greg. I'm Travis. And that's the Jern Zone, baby.
Jern Zone. Do you have a guest on Sunday?
We do now.
No.
That's how you do it. You lock someone in.
That's how it ended.
You have a guest on.
We do now. No.
I feel sorry for the audio listeners. There's a lot of moments in that show. It's like, what's going on? What's going on?
I don't know. Is Jern back next time? But we definitely agree that Jern makes this podcast the most relevant one. We appreciate it. It really just skyrocketed the podcast from just being the little podcast that could to a legitimate powerhouse in podcastery.
The last time we had John on, he shot us to, I think the highest I tracked us was number 42 in the rankings. So after this, and after that, plea at the end of the show, I think MKBHD, your days are limited. And I don't know.
I've been thinking about doing something.
What's that?
So how on Front Page Tech we did Creative Awesomeness.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm thinking about doing something similar on Recycle Bin because on Front Page Tech I feel like I can't waste any time because audience retention and I gotta be quick. But on Recycle Bin I can talk about whatever for however long I want. And I think a weekly podcast recommendation would be cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You can do that.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna try it this week. You guys are gonna be on Recycle Bin.
Yay!
Well, you're gonna be guests on Recycle Bin, but also for the next episode, I'm gonna plug you guys.
Nice. We appreciate that, Jern.
Thank you. Oh my God.
So Bender, yes, there will be eventually. Well, we have to. I think
pick a side, Bender. Come on, just get the cancel Greg shirt like you want.
Eventually, we will. Yes.
None of this. You got to pick a side.
You guys are officially in the notes for Recycle Bin.
We're in the notes.
Thank you.
I think we're recording tomorrow and posting on Saturday. I don't know. Don't hold me to that.
Listen, I listen to a lot of podcasts. There's always someone you hate more than everyone else. And if they left the show, you're like, okay. Like, if John replaced me or Travis, you might be like, I'm glad that Greg replaced Travis with John. Or maybe you're like, I'm glad Travis got rid of that Greg guy and got John on the show. So that's how we want you to pick the shirts.
Oh my God. Listen, regardless, we're just happy that you're here. 200 and some odd people here in the chat.
So the interesting thing is there are people who are obviously listening, back in time. Someone just said, wait, they're changing the iconic logo. So someone
I do that all the time where I will I'll go back earlier into a show and forget that I actually went back and I think I'm current and I just ask a question in the chat and then I'm like, oh fuck, I just look really stupid.
Oh my God. All right. Listen, we appreciate everyone. Listen, at this time, it's time to go. We got to go. Yes, you can try to cancel. It's never going to happen. GadgetCast shirt logo being flushed down a toilet. I love it. Maybe that's the next version of the shirt. That'd be
can we take the thumbnail for John and just make that into a GadgetCast?
Most relevant GadgetCast guest ever.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, that's enough. It's been fun.
That's enough.
All right.
Greg is just go ahead and post this tomorrow. I mean, let's not wait around. What do we do? Or post it tonight. If you can post tonight for audio, that'd be great.
I'm giving you work. I'm going to bed. What are you talking about? I'll post it.
You got the file. Just upload the damn thing, man. You don't have to sync anything. Okay, listen. Everyone,
I'm going to post it tomorrow. How about that?
You're such a nerd. Okay.
You have the file too. You can post it all you want, Travis. We have the same file, believe it or not. You want to post it?
Oh, we do, don't we?
You're 3 hours behind me. You're in the past. I'm living.
Yeah, exactly. I do the YouTube.
I gotta get the 13-inch MacBook Pro video out. I gotta keep my channel going. I figured out the YouTube algorithm. I know all the secrets. Do not DM me and ask me about them. I will not share.
How come, Travis, you just can't handle podcast things?
What do you mean?
He was like, you're 3 hours behind me. You do it, and you're just like, I know a podcast. I know.
You know all the stuff I do for this podcast? I do everything else. That's literally the only thing
that was going to be a real fight after this. Cancel Travis.
you have to do.
Cancel Travis. Oh,
One job.
one job. I'm checking the email. I'm editing the podcast. I'm booking Jon Prosser. I sent the text booking John for the show.
Sure. This is what happened.
Actually, I think was it Travis's text? It was like, "Hey, what are you doing Thursday?"
No, that was me.
Oh, that was Greg. Never mind. Greg redeemed.
Greg, every week check the email. One week, I'm like, "Did you check the email?" He goes, "Oh, I'll check it now." Email from like 6 days previous, offering to give us free GadgetCast stuff. I'm like, bro, of all the emails you miss, did he reply? Did that person reply?
Yeah.
Free GadgetCast stuff. What?
Like vinyl things and shirts and stuff. And I'm like, whoa. One job.
Good job, Greg.
Messing up.
Take handouts.
Should be.
How big do you think we are, Greg? Let me tell you, we're in the hole every episode.
I don't know how big you are, but I'm number 3600.
Are you still trending? Is this still trending?
Oh, that was like a day.
Get a shirt with it.
I felt good for a day, and I like checked it and was like, I'm not there anymore.
That'd be cool for like a shirt. Greg's Gadgets number 36, like a sports jersey trending.
I have a screenshot of the thumbnail. I should just make it the freaking the exact thumbnail with number 36.
You can make a fake plaque and make it 36 trending and put it in your background as like a YouTube instead of the YouTube plaque.
Yo, how about you want a bunch of ratings? Tell people that you'll put their ratings on a all over print T-shirt.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea.
It's a good idea. We thought about reading the ratings in the show too. If you left like a cool one.
Oh yeah, we were gonna do that.
One rating a week. I think we did that back in the day. It's a good idea.
Yeah, like I always try and think of something stupid to say in my intro, and I usually fail. So leave like a cool rating. Maybe I'll just say it in the intro.
That's
something about the podcast, like why you like it, and then I'll plug you, whoever you are. People like their names to be heard.
You can sign up for another like iTunes account and do that, right? Like you can
get a GadgetCast vinyl. Yeah, just put all of our episodes on it. Why not?
Yeah,
classics.
Why not? That'd be awesome. All right, look, that's enough.
Jarvis trying to get the hell out of here.
I love everyone who listens to GadgetCast. As Greg knows, Greg and I are obsessed with this show. I know I'm probably more obsessed with this show than I am my own YouTube channel, but it's because it's bigger than both of us. I love it. I think it's great, and it's something special. So without all y'all watching and listening, we would be just talking into microphones to nobody.
Travis, I got an air fryer.
You did?
I did. It's wonderful.
Isn't it awesome? I told
It's
you.
awesome. Yeah. I just figured you should know.
Squad, baby. Let's go. Have you tried, by the way? I mean, besides doing chicken, which of course you should do. One of the biggest selling points of that thing was something that I didn't know before I bought it. And that is all the crappy frozen stuff at your grocery store now becomes delicious. Like the tater tots.
Dude, jalapeno poppers.
Jalapeno, any of those things. Doesn't matter what.
Yeah.
All the stuff you would never buy because it's soggy and nasty. You put that in the air fryer and it's a wrap. You will never not buy them ever again. You're gonna buy them all the time.
I don't know how we are in the future, dude. You just put it in and the air goes like that, and then it's done.
It's like a good microwave.
And it's like 4 minutes, 6 minutes. It's crazy.
An air fryer is basically like a microwave that Apple made.
Yeah, that somebody cared about and loved.
And loved it.
You could tell air fryers grew up with love. They weren't orphans.
They're literally like the best thing, man. Bruh. Every on an air fryer.
Are they new? How long have they been out? This is such a weird conversation that I got us in.
It doesn't matter. It's a GadgetCast. Technically,
you don't need an air fryer sponsor.
We need one. Technically, air fryers are just convection ovens. They're just small convection ovens, which have been around forever.
I don't know what a convection oven is.
I actually have a convection oven as well. It is really the most efficient way to cook something. So it's an oven, and it basically has a fan in it. That's basically it. It just blows around.
So if I put a fan in my oven,
it's basically a convection.
Did I make a big old air fryer?
You'll melt your fan, but yes.
That's true. Just imagine opening you're like, oh, and it's just like plastic all melted.
All you have to do is put a fan in there. Yeah, we got one, baby. He's part of the air fryer squad. But
it sounds like air fryer.
That's right.
Dude, there is no news.
Huh?
There's no tech news for Front Page Tech. Can't
you
make
know
another
what?
episode.
Why not? I mean,
I'm in such a weird position because I've blew my load. There's no more news, and all the news is about news from me. So what do I do?
you just do a whole. I think you just do a whole episode recapping your tweets.
Dude, our last episode crushed it. Was number 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
And all it was a story about how I tweeted about Macbook.
Seems to be the best thing to do.
It's so good. But I mean, what am I supposed to tweet about? I could talk. There's Android 11 beta, but who gives a shit? No, but how am I supposed to clickbait? How am I supposed to clickbait iPhone with the Android headline?
You need to go. Apple should do this, or iPhone should do this.
iPhone 12 will not have Android, but this will.
There you go. That actually makes sense. Yeah, the MacBook Air fryer, is that coming this year?
I feel like if you put Final Cut and some 4K files on that, you might have a MacBook Air fryer.
It's true. I've tested that. Yeah. You can make it something really nice.
You ain't live till you cook some pizza rolls on a MacBook Air.
Pancakes I sent you, all done on the MacBook Air. Good.
Some French toast sticks.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right, everybody. Thank you. That's still 200 people that are still watching the shenanigans. Thank you so much.
Dropping off quick. It's really failed.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you people?
It's the
you better be hitting the subscribe button before you leave.
I know.
Asshole.
All right. That's enough. Thank you guys for joining us. We love you. Make sure you come check us out on Sunday. Same channel, but different URL, if that makes sense.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Just figured I should throw that out there.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Or